our river banks and our other members, managing committee members, the sister association presidents and office bearers, press and media, my family and friends, my employees, very warm welcome and good evening to all of you. Generally, human beings are of three types. One is knowledge driven, action driven, and inertia driven. And most of the time, every time we will have some context in life, and the context, what decision we take, that decides our fortune. And most of the time, the decisions are being taken based on our value, likes and dislikes. When you take a decision based on your values and dislikes, it results either positive or negative. But very rarely, a group of people join together. The knowledge-driven people join together and take a decision based on a value. When that is being done, the result would be value creation. And that value creation will long last forever in giving the result to the society. And so SIEMA is one such value creation done by our ancestors in the year 1953. And that is the reason it is still continuing benefiting the entire society. Not only SIEMA, even if you take any sister associations of Coimbatore, that is whether it could be Codicia, IIF, Co-India, SITA, whatever it is, all associations are with a similar this thing. That is why Coimbatore is day by day getting more and more importance in the national and international level. Actually, Coimbatore entrepreneurs always believed in value addition. For instance, at late 1800s, the textile mills have started. Textile mills have emerged. So one set of people thought, with this yarn, what we can do, what value addition could be done. So that is then it was our hosiery industry emerged with the yarn, and it has become very big. Similarly, in 1930s and 1940s, the foundry industry started. So our forefathers, ancestors thought, what we can do is the castings. Now what we can do? Then came pump industry. So the pump industry, the first pump in India was manufactured from Coimbatore. And not only that, till today, even wherever the pump clusters, pump hubs have been started, but still, for the international brands, for the most trusted pumps are from Coimbatore. Even today, if you take for the larger, whether if you take it Grundfos or if you take KSB or if you take Willow, to any companies, the trusted sources, the trusted vendors are from Coimbatore. And naturally, for example, if we could have seen the geographical channel or this thing, the hyenas cannot go and hunt the large animals, whether it is a bison or any this thing, it will not hunt. The lion only will go and hunt the things. And when the lion hunts this thing, to take the prey from the lion, these hyenas will form a group. And generally they will try to snatch the prey from the lion. This generally everywhere it happens. So the lions at a particular point, yes, till now we have our pride in the technical expertise and the products are consistent quality of the products and the professional ethics, everything we have. But now this is the time, because right from my own company, I am seeing almost 90% of our member industries of SIEMA is undergoing a generation change. The new generation is either already taken over or ready to take over. So at this particular time, I wanted to insist a very important point. Now at this changeover period, we need to focus on one thing, which is deepening our roots and widening our vision. We need to concentrate on that. Deepening our roots in the sense, if we see, I told that we have developed this thing, we had a pride of developing all the products, everything. But today, the other hubs, the other clusters where people are more, the physical, geographical proximity, where people are more closer to the markets, more closer to the raw material sources. Now they started taking commercially the advantage. So what we need to do, only as I understood, thanks to our IPMA President, Mr. Karthik, because because of his initiative, we had a lot of opportunities to visit all the pump clusters across the country and to study their the characteristics, the business dynamics of those markets. What we understood is one is the ecosystem. The ecosystem in the sense we need to have the companies at all levels. For example, if there is a company that if some companies are existing at 2,000 crore turnover, there should be companies between 1,500 to 2,000, 1,000 to 1,500, 700 to 1,000, 500 to 700, 300 to 500, 100. Okay. So that is how so to that extent we will be able to get the our supply chain and vendor base, everything will get up. That ecosystem, if anybody wants to start the business, it will be very useful to do. So to create that ecosystem, okay, what if you compare our present, what is the in a SWOT analysis? If we have a small, if we could finally get into this thing, one is we need to strengthen within. The Coimbatore, our member industries, we have a larger responsibility. We have to strengthen our industries within themselves. That which means our productivity cost, our procurement cost, our inventory cost, our quality cost, our design cost, our marketing cost. Everything we need to address. In fact, when we had a proposal of this during the last asset committee meeting, our vice president, our past presidents were highly magnanimous when we had given a proposal of budgeting around 50 lakhs from SIEMA for the micro, small and medium empowerment program. They were magnanimously accepted it. And today we have the president of QCFA with us, Mr. Bhaskar. And actually, even from SITAR, long back, we have done a program with them. And many companies have participated, and whatever the money spent, we have most of the companies have taken 3x or 4x advantage within the program time itself. So that is the need of the hour. What we need to do right now is this thing, and as a result of this, what is required is today, if the other cluster is doing well than us, it is because their product cost in the market is 6 to 7% cheaper than ours. And second very important thing is their profitability is 6 to 7% more than us. That is because I also have a lot of friends in the sectors everywhere in the other sector, other states. So this is the major difference which we need to address. 6 to 7% product cost lesser, 6 to 7% profitability. That brings the difference, that creates the ecosystem. So we need to become more efficient in this. Once if we do that, what will happen is definitely in the domestic market, we will be able to have a very effective presence throughout the country, and even many of our brands can again come up. This I am giving it as an input to the youngsters, because as I said, more than 80-90% of the industries are going through the generational change. And second thing, as our president was mentioning, that the global market in pump industry is very huge. It is that's 95 billion US dollars is only for the water pump and this thing. If you take the entire pump sector, it is much more. It is almost, they say, around 140 to 150 billion US dollars, which is almost 7 to 7.5 lakh crores. So we have for any, if a country wants to win a war, the country must have a very good ordnance factory. And we have two very good ordnance factories. One is SITARC and another one is Co India. SITARC is a very good research center, testing facilities. Co India has got an excellent tool room facility. Anything that is what is required, we will be able to do it effectively. So now, what we think is, for Coimbatore pump industry, if we target this domestic business enhancement and the global business, if we have an active presence in global business, we can from clusters 10 companies, 20 companies together, visit a particular country where you have, whether it is the Middle East or African countries, wherever it is, we will go together and identify 100 products which has got a market. And that out of that 100, each company can make 10 products. And these products could be circulated among the cluster. And everybody can have all the products. So, if we work this way, as our late President Dr. Kalam said, dreaming small is a sin. We can dream big, and that big would be what I foresee is within 5 years we can keep the target of Coimbatore pump industry reaching 50,000 crores very easily. 5 billion US dollars we can certainly reach. 100% it is very much possible. When I say this, many of you might think I am very superficial and it is not possible from 67,000 crores how to reach this 5 billion USD. But I would like to tell one fact, if we think it will happen. Because here I would like to bring one scientific information about neuroplasticity. In the neurology, this is the latest study being conducted, neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is nothing but when we walk on a particular path, if there is no way, still if we walk on a particular path, automatically it makes a neuro pathways. So similarly, the way you think, the way you channelize your mind, that forms the neuro pathways in our brain. And when the neuro pathway is formed, and generally what happens is, when we are at the emotional state, which is called beta. Today, if you go to any hospital, multi-speciality hospital, if we have a sleep disorder, if we have a cognitive disorder, they will take a study in EEG, electroencephalogram. They will find out our mental frequency, how it is, whether it is so if it is in beta level, above 14 cycles or above that, at that state, your mind will not be powerful. So as you reduce your frequency to alpha, theta, delta, mind becomes powerful. So at that time in the neuropath, whatever you register, that definitely it will happen. For this, there is another system in the brain called RAS, reticular activation system. This reticular activation system, it is, see, our brain cannot absorb everything happening around us. If it absorbs everything that happening around us, it will choke in a minute. We will lose our life. So it has got a gate to who, security guard, what informations to be allowed, what informations not to be allowed. So accordingly, as per your neuropathway, this is how they call it N-pole valve. Whatever is your neuropathway, whatever you think, this is what Dr. Kalam also mentioned. Whatever you deeply believe that it will happen, if we believe that, 100% this reticular activation, because our brain is nothing but an antenna, and everything today what we are seeing in the form of whether it is a business, whether it is a house, everything is a waves. If the antenna, if you channelize properly, this reticular activation system will pull only that the positive things in you, which will create a total whatever we think that there is a possibility it will happen. And in the pump industry, already we are seeing the facts. There is a market existing for 120, 130 billion US dollars in the global market. And Indian market is also not less than 50 to 60,000 crores. Then why, what stops us? So the youngsters should come together and do this. And even when I studied about this neuroplasticity, even I think our Mr. Arichami had come here, he's from Temple of Consciousness, Alia. I happened to visit there many times, and when we see the trustees there, because this neuroplasticity happens there, that is the way that Swamiji has designed the program. It brings the wavelength, and it also there is an introspection. This thing, it makes so every single person you go and see that there as a trustee, they were very normal first generation people, but they have made very large achievements, very big achievements in life. So when I connect, I see this as an empirical evidence for this neurology. So what I wish is our youngsters, because this once if we think of 50,000 crores, 5 billion US dollars a turnover from our members, it will not only benefit our member industries, it will overall, because we have pump industry is completely a very big supply chain is dependent on the pump industry. Once this 50,000 crores if we aim, and the advantage is going to be more than 1 lakh crores. So it is going to be a very big this thing, and it is very much possible. It is not that it is not possible. And even for our right now, if we consider our vice presidents, our Arun has gotten, his focus is completely global marketing. என்னங்க எங்காவது போலாங்க வாங்க அங்க அந்த ட்ரேட் நடக்குது இந்த ட்ரேட் நடக்குது ஃபிக்கில் இதை சொல்றாங்க அவங்க அதை சொல்றாங்க. He always thinks about the global market, this thing. And our Mohan Sandil Kumar is an encyclopedia of pump industry. Whatever I said that making the companies within stronger for the any kind of lean manufacturing or anything, that is he would be a best resource. And our new young vice president Mr. Karthikeyan is an networking person, so connecting people, and this is a very important these things. And I wish at least during the Mohan Sandil Kumar period we should have a very big impact in the industry, and we should our member industry should reach the larger this turnover and the growth of SIEMA. Definitely we should take it to the next level, and with the support of the guidance, as I mentioned, with the river banks, our past presidents and energetic youngsters, definitely I feel it is very much possible. And we all will, because the designations as our when Mithun was mentioning about his journey with SIEMA, I was remembering only Kalatur Kannamma Kamal Hassan. But as a kid he has started, and now he is in a very matured state, and still a long way to go for his excellent contributions to be received. So let us all do it. The designations are not important. Vice President, President, it is not important. Together let us win this sector and take it up to the next level. Thank you very much.